Here Koto, and my name is Marek Tesar, and I'm chairing the RECE Steering Committee, and it is my great pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of the RECE Steering Committee to our Reconceptualizing Early Child Education RECE Business meeting. First of all, I would like to acknowledge all the Indigenous people on whose land we are connecting today to this business meeting. I want to also acknowledge all teachers, families, and children who are affected by the horrific war in Ukraine. This is our second business meeting that we have online, and it would not be possible to have this online gathering without technical and organizational support. And I'm grateful to my colleague from the University of Auckland, Dr. Andrew Majar, for supporting us today. Thank you, Andrew. For some of you, RECE business meeting may be a very common, regular occasion, while for others of you, it may be the very first time you are joining us. We aim to cover a lot of ground in the next hour, and I would like to ask you please to use chat function to ask questions as various colleagues will be presenting. I will moderate and chair the meeting, move slides for our colleagues as they talk, and I will ask your questions from the chat if they are not spotted by the presenters. This meeting is also being recorded. In the last 15 minutes, we have our regular RECE town hall session, within which you can unmute yourself and you can talk and ask questions. This has been, and it is, a very special year for RECE community. We will see each other for the first time since 2019 in Vancouver in person. My great thanks to Iris Berger, Mari Pigini, Lori Kochna, and Laurie Houston and Awera Vericat Rocha for really taking and on organizing our very first post-pandemic conference. And our gratitude goes to you for your hard work and endless optimism and problem solving. Rachel Langford and Sonia Arndt, our program co-chairs, have been working on the program's days and nights together with our fantastic program committee to address all concerns related to another RECE first, the very first hybrid conference, taking into account time zones and various in-person and hybrid panels. I'm not quite sure how you all doing it, but I'm so impressed with your creative work and thinking. Thank you. And we will hear from both of these teams today. And just as a reminder, there is still time to register for this conference. The early bird registration is finishing this Friday. Special thanks goes to the RECE Steering Committee, which has been tirelessly working online in the past 2.5 years. Thank you, everyone, and you will hear from all of them today. Jonathan Stillen will provide updates from the steering committee, including our activities, growing membership and communication needs, and also news on appointment of new RECE steering committee as per the charter. Beth Plus-Swadener, together with Sonia Geishas, will provide financial report on our income and expenditures, and we are so grateful to the wonderful finance team for their commitment and fiscal responsibility. Colette Murray will provide overview of the work on our charter and the planned updates. Our charter is our governing document that may require some updates now and then. And thank you, Colette, for leading this work. Matthias Urban will provide update on our important outreach initiative, RECE Palestine Solidarity Scholarships, which has been really successful and really important project last and this year. Janice Kroger will take us further into the future and asks us to think about RECE 2023 conference and beyond as our conference host side liaison. Thank you, Janice, for the work. And Mimi Bloch and Thomas Ellegard will lead and moderate our town hall session. And I know they are very skilled moderators. I'm really looking forward for the debate. Thank you all for your commitment and work, and apologies in advance as I will be keeping time and moving agenda along, so we will be able to cover all of these agenda items. And finally, I would just like to say I'm incredibly proud of our RECE community for not only thriving and working hard as an organization focused on critical scholarship and activism during the time of pandemic and producing so many webinars and activities, but also that we were able to organize so quickly our 28th RECE conference in June this year in the 31st year of RECE. Namahinui, and see you all in Vancouver. And now, Jonathan, as they say, The screen is yours.
So I think the headline here is that we've had an incredibly strong year, as they say in early childhood, filled with learning and growth. We've hosted 6 webinars, 3 in the spring of 2021 and 3 in the fall of 2021 to celebrate the 30th anniversary of RECE. And on the slide, you will be reminded of those webinars. Part of the webinars has been working to understand our life online. The steering committee has recently decided to ask Bobby Zaman, who has been working on communications and membership, to work more regularly as a consultant so that our communications are more frequent and as interesting as possible. So we're thrilled that that's going to happen and that we'll have someone regularly on board to do that. As far as outreach and membership, I'm really thrilled to say that we've got 1,700 people receive our MailChimp every time it goes out. That's 1,700 people across the world. And we seem to have approximately 190 RECE members, and we'd like to see that member number grow, and particularly in the months just prior to the conference. As far as governance, the steering committee is committed to expanding its membership. We see this as extremely important. In June, Matthias will step down and one person from the current host committee will step up to join us. But we are also looking to add 4 new members. Now, Mark sent out a communication about this, so I'm reiterating what's already gone out. But we're looking for a representative from Indigenous communities for a 3-year term, 1 person to represent new RECE members for a 2-year term, and 2 at-large people. So we're looking to add 4 new steering committee members in the coming months. You've all received the email. We've asked everybody who's interested in serving to send us a paragraph or 2 about themselves by, I think the deadline was May 15th. This year, the steering committee will appoint the new members from those who have submitted their paragraph descriptions. And then next year, with a new system and the rotation of membership already defined, we'll be holding regular elections. So this is the last year that we'll be doing this appointing process. And after that, we'll be on to a regular election in which all RECE members can participate. So if you have any interest in serving and leading, please send in some information to address to Marek so that we can consider it. That's the steering committee report.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. And I think it's very clear that RECE has been thriving and very busy since the last business meeting, which I think was in February last year. So thank you for this report. I can't see any questions, so I will now move to the next slide, and Iris and her host committee team will be talking about RECE 2022 conference updates.
Thank you so much, Marek, and hello to everyone on this call. My name is Iris Berger. I am an assistant professor of teaching with the Faculty of Education at the University of British Columbia. And I'm here today as the co-chair of the host committee for RECE 2022 conference. And I have my amazing committed colleagues here with me to share a little bit with you about our plans for this conference. Dr. Mari Pegini, Dr. Laurie Coker, Laurie Houston, and Arya Verikat, who will introduce themselves shortly. I just very, very briefly wanted to say how excited we are for this opportunity to be your hosts, and also to acknowledge that the incredible UBC campus, and you can see in the image on the left, the view that we have actually from our campus is situated on the unceded traditional and ancestral territories of the Musqueam people. And this is something that we will definitely highlight throughout the conference. Just briefly wanted to say that when Jonathan and Rachel approached Mari and I in the summer to ask about the possibility to hold this conference, we were eager. However, the COVID and other issues that were happening throughout the world at this time really required us to cultivate together a sense of trust in the future. And I think it was Jonathan and Rachel talking about the need of this community to have a possibility to gather together and talk about these important issues that RECE care so much about, that convinced us that we are going to do this. And it is becoming a reality very, very quickly. And to tell you a little bit more about the conference, I'm going to pass it on to Mari. No, sorry, to Lori Cocker.
Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to be with you in this virtual space. My name is Lori Coker. For some time, Iris and I shared an office at UBC, where she currently works. I teach at Capilano University, a small teaching university, also in the Vancouver area. And I'm one of the rare birds that was actually born and raised in Vancouver. Almost everybody here comes from somewhere else, but this is my home. And I am really delighted to be welcoming you all, whether it's virtually or in person, to this beautiful place. I will mention that I had actually organized this little slide to pop in with one image at a time. We have everything in front of us. So we were going to start with our welcome figures actually at the Vancouver airport as you arrive. These are the welcome figures by Newtown artist Joe David. I'm going to invite you as you arrive in the airport to pay attention to the beautiful art that is all over the place. A lot of it is art that is created by Musqueam artists, who are the original owners, isn't the right, residents, the First Nations of this place is what I want to say. And particularly Susan Point, who is Musqueam, has a number of pieces of art that you see as you come through the welcome hall. So I just wanted to identify that to you. Then our second slide would be over here, the one Iris referred to, just to mention, again, the theme of this conference, which is reimagining pedagogies in transformational times, but we're also thinking very much about the particularities of this place in this time. A wee little registration update to give you. I'm also managing the registration, so let me give you a little nudge here. If you've not registered yet, please do so soon. It has an impact on us. Mark, you moved on. There we go. Thank you. We presently have 83 people registered for in-person, 56 virtually. And just a little note that it was complicated, but it was challenging to create a bank account in the Vancouver area for RECE. So what happened is Iris and I are co-chairs and co-founders of another group, the Vancouver Regio Association. So with the permission of that group, we're funneling the finances through the VRA, which will go on directly to RECE. So if you see something on your receipt and wonder what that is, that's what that's about. And just a small comment, it will come up later, but some of you folks have taken your annual RECE membership through registering through the website for the conference. We will be passing that on directly to RECE when the conference is closed. So that may have an impact on budget and numbers there. And Mari, do you want to jump in with Hop In? You want to hop in with Hop In?
I'm going to hop in. Thank you so much, Lori. I want to say that your help and wisdom and precision have been invaluable handling all this registration, and the idea to do with Vancouver Regio Association was great and it's going to work great. So thank you again for that. So my name is Mari Pigini. I work in early childhood programs. I'm a lecturer working with Iris and other amazing people in early childhood programs at the University of British Columbia. Today, however, I am speaking to you from the lands of the Cherokee East and Chickasaw Yaqui peoples in Alabama, southern US. We're visiting my daughter and son-in-law here. And I wanted to acknowledge this beautiful territory and very suffered place as well. So I wanted to just provide a quick input about Hopin and tell you the decisions that we came in when we first talked with Jonathan and Rachel, and then with Mark and all in the steering committee. How do we do a conference, a conference post-pandemic, or who knew what was going to happen? So we came with this idea of the hybrid conference that allowed us to have people on campus and online. And if something happened, we could still hold the conference online, something happening, meaning restrictions for the pandemic. So with Iris and other people doing some research, we found out that to do so, we would not only need the Zoom that we have been used to now teaching online, but we would need a platform that would virtually hold the conference, the presenters and the participants, so that they could have links directly to their presentations and upload what they needed to do, and for the participants to come in and also communicate like you do regularly through a Zoom conference presentation via chat. And we found out that this was doable. We looked at a couple of different options, and this option of Hopin allows for a 1 month to 2 months subscription, whatever we need. We're finding out that 2 months is possible to upload everything, and then to have a few days afterwards for whoever was not able to attend one of the stream sessions to still have time to sort of go back to preview it, and also to then download the, any conference material that needs to be archived to the, for example, the RECE website or any other website where this could be held. So the way to do it is, of course, we will need some AV support for the in-person presenters and participants, but we have talked with some students who have been working in tech support for education, and they're experts in this area, and they're being mentored by a learning designer who used to work here with us, and they're going to be providing the support, one on campus, one online, and then through the help of the volunteers that Lori Houston is going to speak to, have that connection so that everybody, presenters and participants, are their needs are met. So I'm sure that there will be questions, you know, a little bit later, and happy to answer whatever I can or find out for you. But this is the idea of the hybrid conference, so everybody will have their needs met in person and online. So on to Lori Houston, I believe, for the volunteers. Thank you.
Hello, bonjour. My name is Lori Houston, and I am grateful to join the host committee as a PhD student here studying in curriculum and pedagogy. I am Indigenous, Métis to Canada, and my life's work has been supporting Indigenous early childhood education across Canada. And we've had the opportunity to engage with graduate early childhood education students and undergraduate students to provide an opportunity to engage in the conference through volunteering. So we've created a Google Doc and collecting the information, and we'll be processing a schedule and helping fill some of the gaps of the roles at the conference. So miigwech, and I'll pass it on to Aria.
Hello, thank you so much for having us. My name is Aurea Bericat. I'm a PhD candidate at UBC, and also very privileged and excited for the opportunity to support this important effort in the field of early childhood education. I will just briefly say that honoring the idea and the theme of the conference that is based on place and wanting to bring culture, particularly indigenous culture, into the conference, is that we are suggesting, and obviously this will be in coordination with the program committee, to include, and in this case, an example of that is the group JIT's Highest of Dancers, for a short presentation, hopefully 20 minutes, and either of the Saturday or Sunday to be determined. And again, these, along with other activities like the visit to the Belkin Gallery on campus at UBC, are meant to share with participants and presenters during the conference part of the culture and the place that where they will be visiting throughout the conference. So we hope that these and the other options that we are offering a part of the program will bring closer place to the conference and to those attending. And I think that's it for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Aurea, Lori, and Iris, Mari, and Lori, and for this wonderful RECE 22 conference update. And there will be more time to have a discussion during the RECE Town Hall listening session. And we really appreciate all the work that you're doing. And we do know that the time frame was much shorter to organize this conference, but it's shaping up as a fantastic and fabulous place that we can't wait to join together, whether in person or virtually. And just to remind everybody, there is still time to register. I think the early bird registration is closing on Friday, and this has been a wonderful invitation to come to beautiful Vancouver and beautiful UBC campus. So thank you again.
And now quickly say, very quickly say, Mark, thank you, that we are, of course, kind of upholding the place of where the conference will take place, but we're definitely not forgetting the many places where people are going to be joining us virtually. And we are still looking for a platform, for a place where people could actually share something about their places, and we'll send out information about that.
That's wonderful, Iris. Thank you so much. That's very much appreciated. And now we'll be moving on to the RECE 2022 conference program updates. And I would like to invite Rachel and Sonia.
Thank you so much, Mark. Sonia's just asked me to speak on her behalf because she's just recovering from being ill and feeling much better, though, thankfully, Sonia. So we would like to extend great thanks, first of all, to the program committee for all their assistance in creating the program. And as Iris noted, we're working closely with the host committee on rooms and scheduling events. But our intention is to release the program, the conference program, shortly. So within a week or a week and a half, Sonia and I are very excited, along with the host committee, that we've almost reached the point in which we can communicate the conference program to everyone. The program consists of 130 exciting presentations. Sonia and I are thrilled at the content of the conference program. There's going to be plenaries, themed panels, individual papers that have been grouped together into theme sessions, and there's also special focus sessions. And as Mari and Iris have alluded to, all the program sessions will be simultaneously available in person and virtually. And Mari's described how those sessions will be accessed through Zoom links. It certainly has, I think Sonia would agree that it's been a challenge to to create the sessions and making sure that that those presenters and participants that will participate virtually will not have to do so in the middle of the night. So we worked carefully with all the time zones of presenters and have tried our best to make the timing appropriate for all presenters. But what you're going to discover is that in most sessions, there are going to be a combination of presenters that are online as well as in person. There are some sessions that just by chance are all going to be in person, but most are, it's a combination of virtual and in-person presentations. And each session is, for that reason, each session will have a chairperson to help facilitate the in-person and virtual presentations. And Mari's mentioned there's going to be an IT support person along with assigned volunteers as well. So we're certainly hoping that everything will run smoothly and it will be a very engaging, exciting, and meaningful experience for all of the conference participants. We wanted to note that the program will also also have visits to the University of BC childcare centers, cultural events as described by members of the host committee. And there's a pre-conference writing workshop on the Thursday morning, led by Jonathan and Gail Bold. And the actual opening of the conference is later in the day on the Friday. So the plenary reception opens the conference. Just to note that there will be another business meeting, and it'll be held on Saturday from 2:45 to 3:45. And then the conference closes with a dinner and an awards presentation. And I can only echo what others have said, that we really encourage everyone to register as soon as possible. So that the program can be confirmed. I think that's probably Sonia's and my greatest worry is that some people who've indicated, submitted a proposal, had it accepted, and are now in the program, have decided or will decide not to present in the end. And of course, as you imagine, that if I could use the word, upsets the whole order of the program and requires us to do sometimes significant adjustments. So I think that Sonia, I don't know if you have anything to add or if you feel confident that I've mentioned everything that's necessary.
Rachel, you've definitely mentioned everything. Thank you so much. I just want to thank everybody for their support for us and for the conference itself. It's actually been a total delight to work with Rachel on this program and to see it coming together. It's so great to see all the people we know and love and a lot of new people putting their work into the conference. It's going to be a really good program in terms of content, and we're hoping that we can do that justice in terms of how we've organized it as well. So watch this space on the RECE website, where we'll put the first draft within the next couple of weeks, like Rachel said. And please encourage everybody to register, because it helps us even just to know who's in person and who's going to be virtual.
Thank you so much, Rachel and Sonia, for your incredible hard work. And I know, talking with you both, I know how much work it is to put the program together, think of all those time zones, think about the hybrid conference, and we are very grateful. And I just saw that Mari posted also registration link into the chat. So those of you who are on the call and still haven't registered, there is a link. And potentially there may be some further questions. There was one question about when does the conference start, but that was answered by Iris in a chat. So with that, we will be moving on to the next agenda item. And I would like to invite Colette to talk with us about some thinking about RECE charter update. Colette?
Excuse me, good evening from Ireland. Feels like the Eurovision or something like that, saying hello. I'm calling in from Ireland. Thank you all so much for the presentation so far. It's getting very exciting. I'll be very brief, just to say that, you know, the charter is basically our governance document, and it lays out how we run RECE. And our current charter is up on the website at the moment, but we have taken a decision to actually revisit the charter in light of some changes, including having a hybrid conference. And so we're going to be working on that in the in the next short while. Just also to say that there are a number of appendices that are attached to the charter. And they include the diversity and inclusion appendix, conference guidelines, and responsibilities of the program chair, and also some conference proposal examples. And they are currently a work in progress. And in the next few months, that is where we're going to be putting our focus beyond the conference, which is actually taking the priority focus. But, you know, that is what we're working at the moment, to ensure that things are very clear and steps are very clear in terms of our working documents. So that's me, short and sweet. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Colette, and really appreciate all the work that you're doing and leading on behalf of the RECE and this governance document. It's a really important document. I would just like to encourage everybody, those of you who are not aware, if you go on our website under RECE governance, the currently approved RECE charter is there, and we may have some further updates for you at the next business meeting during the conference. And I will be moving to a very exciting part, and that is, RECE finances. And I don't think that Beth is not here, but Sonia, the co-treasurer, will be taking us through our current financial situation, which is actually really positive, I understand. Sonia?
Yeah, Atamare from Dawn is breaking over my shoulder here in the lovely Kaitahu lands of Otepoti, Te Wapunamu, Dunedin, South Island, New Zealand. Yeah, it's a very exciting time. Beth sends her apologies. She was not able to make the meeting due to some other conflicts, surprisingly. So I'm going to cover everything that the two of us had planned to cover. It is a very exciting time for RECE finances. I know when Beth and I started this co-treasuring a few years ago, things did not look nearly as lovely and if you dare say in financial terms, black in the world, as far as all the positive budget account balances we have. So one of the big things that happened this last year is that RECE is now a recognized 501c3 nonprofit organization in the United States. We felt it was really important to get that done as we were doing international banking. And moving funds across borders, and as we saw our account balances, thanks to the amazing support of some partner institutions and the amazing running of some of the programs and everybody's engagement in the RECE conference and your membership fees, our bank balances, I can honestly say, has never looked better. So I really want to thanks to everybody for all the support we've been receiving. But this also, you know, the back of our heads was thinking, oh, when is the IRS going to notice us in the U.S.? So we wanted to make sure that we had some documentation to prove this was an organization and that this was a legitimate revenue and revenue body. So our current balance, as you can see there, our checking account has an amazing balance of $27,000 and some change. We actually had enough money that we decided that we wanted to make things more fiscally stable potentially. So we've called it a CD. There's another technical long-term name for it, but it's basically a CD, a long-term deposit. There's actually interest accruing, which is something that's new to RECE. We have a small savings account. Primarily it's because our funds are kept in a credit union to stay out of big banks. And to do that, you have to have a savings account there. But most of our savings, you can see, is in the CD. We have kept a large the balance large in the checking account because we are moving funds around for the conferences. So we want to make sure we had funds that were accessible. Our income sources, you can see, are the 2018 and 2019 conferences, membership dues, the donations to travel awards, which I'll put a quick plug in for that. Any donations you can make towards those travel awards would be very helpful. Donations to the Solidarity Scholarships that Matthias is going to be talking about, and other fundraising, such as the amazing quilts that Sapon Shevan makes for us. And then, as noted, one of our sources of income is interest, unbelievably enough. So our expenses, what we've decided to do is just to show you what was budgeted for this year, because we are in influx. And we have a spreadsheet that could tell you down to the penny where we spent all the money, but we thought that telling you what the budget was for this year would probably be the most helpful. I don't know that I'm going to go through all of those right now, but let me just say that for the travel awards, we do have 8 applicants at this time, which is down quite a bit, so we may not be needing to spend all $6,000. But if the travel award deadline application has passed, I think it was Sunday night, April 30th. So Beth and I are getting together actually later on this week to determine who will be getting those travel awards. And this is also where I'm going to put a plug in to be registered, because part of the criteria for receiving a travel award is that you are a presenter and you have registered, because we want to make sure that as we plan to put out those funds that you are actually going to be coming. Let's see, I think that pretty much covers everything. You can see that down payment to UBC for the 2022 conference, and I would like to again thank the folks there for their creative banking solutions to use the Reggio Emilia organization to help with the funds. Boy, I tell you what, nothing has changed for RECE in the finance department. Is the greater challenges we have had moving money around internationally and through organizations and institutions. So that is becoming an increasing challenge as the bureaucracies and the requirements to move money around have become more of a challenge. So we will see how that evolves over the coming years too. But something to think about if you are planning on hosting a conference is how the financial aspect will work. I think that's it, yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you. I just want to say thank you so much, Sonia, and of course to Beth, but also to Michelle and to Mimi, who are members of the finance committee. So
I was at the top. I was supposed to say that, and I apologize. Yes, thank you very much to Michelle Salazar Perez and Mimi Block are part of our finance committee alongside me and Mimi, and Mark steps in as a part of an ex officio kind of role with the finance committee to keep us all going forward. And really want to thank everybody for and the support of the steering committee as we work to make things very financially responsive and have some stability and some future focused planning for the money, which is hard because we like to really spend and support folks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sonia, and thanks for this wonderful report. It's always and it's wonderful to see that I think for all of our members that where the income sources are, what are we budgeting for, what we're planning to spend, and as always, any questions, any feedback, we are already open. We are really governing our money. This is all our funds and our money, which we are governing on behalf of our organization.
All right.
And thank you, Sonia. So now we will be moving to And I would like to invite Matthias to come in to talk to us about this very exciting project that we started last year, RECE Solidarity Scholarships, that's focused on Palestine.
Okay, yes, exciting it is, but it's only going to work if we all sort of chip in and make this happen. Just to give you a brief background, as you will remember, in 2020, we were planning to have our annual RECE conference hosted by the University of Bethlehem in Palestine. That would have been our second RECE conference in Palestine after the first one we had in 2009. We had to cancel this for a reason that you will be familiar with. And we ended up we came up with a suggestion in collaboration with our colleagues in Palestine to support the work of the Social Studies Department and Early Childhood students at Bethlehem University in very difficult times with 10 RECE Palestine Solidarity Scholarships. And the deal basically is that we are aiming to fund 10 students from the Early Childhood and Social Studies Department at Bethlehem University, students who come from the local area, who come from the Aida and Deshe refugee camps, for example, who have no other financial support. We will support them with $1,000 each, which will cover tuition fees and some sort of collective learning resources. The deal is, and we've presented this at the last business meeting, that as RECE, as an organization, we're going to seed fund 4 of those scholarships. And you just saw the figures in Sonia's slide. And that we are raising funds, and this is you, for 6 additional scholarships to bring it up to 10. They will start this autumn semester, so that's September 2022, which basically gives us another couple of months to actually raise funds. And this is really the appeal to you. If you would have donated to the travel funds, if you have some spare cash somewhere, donate to the RECE Palestine Solidarity Scholarships. It's an absolutely fabulous cause. And we'll be supporting 10 wonderful students in the Bethlehem area. And I'll report on progress at the next business meeting in Vancouver.
Thank you so much, Matthias, and thank you so much for leading this, as you say, really important and wonderful course. Just to remind everybody, when you go on a RECE website, yeah, Matthias?
Sorry, I forgot. The way this works is that at the moment I'm working with our colleagues Hala and Ferdous in Bethlehem, and the Dean, Alejandro. They are preparing for us a list, suggested lists of candidates for the scholarships, which will then come to us with a profile and for us to sort of make a decision about who these scholarships are going to go to for beginning September 22.
Thank you so much, Matthias. And the way how it works, and also I see Laura is asking this question that I want to say, is you go on RECE website and there is a banner donate, and you click on it and it takes you to the RECE Palestine Solidarity Scholarship website where you can directly donate, and we will be also advertising it through our regular email updates. And thank you, Matthias, for this. And as you say, you will be providing us with update how much has changed in the 2 months, and we can say that this is the beginning of a campaign. So we're very excited to really start it. So thank you for that, and we'll be moving to Janice, who is member of a RECE steering committee, but also our conference host liaison person, and she will be talking to us about conference 2023 and beyond. Janice?
Yes, thank you so much, Mark. Firstly, I want to say a hearty thank you to Samara Madrid Akpovo, who had prepared the conference location and done a tremendous amount of work to accommodate at the University of Tennessee in 21 as a site location. And then when the pandemic hit, all of that planning and time and effort went out the window. We thank her for the effort she put into laying that groundwork. Institutional support at UT has changed due to the retirement of the chair, and UT will not host or not at this time. Also, thank you to Drs. Jeanette Habashi and Matthias Urban for attempting to be a host location for Palestine in 2022. So on behalf of the Hall Committee of RECE, there's always a tremendous amount of work and questions and resource decisions for any geographic site location that hosts the conference. And mostly these have to do with the space, virtual and physical, the costs and the arrangements, and whether or not the institutional support is forthcoming. But now with COVID and our concerns about fossil fuel consumption, and the tremendous amount of technology that it takes to run a hybrid conference, these questions have become even more difficult. So the executive board for RECE is very much interested in getting the conference coming up in the next few years out of North America. And at this time, we also have 2 potential sites for 2023, which I will speak about right now. So Manchester University in the UK with Martin Needham, has expressed interest for possibly 2023. And we are lucky to say that they are still asking questions and doing research institutionally. And he and I will meet hopefully later this week. Also Bethlehem University in Palestine with Hala Rashed, Ramad Tamish, and Abir Busley from the Department of Early Childhood Education and Social Sciences have also expressed interest, and I've reached out to them to meet with them as well. So of course, anyone who hosts conferences know that there's a tremendous amount of proposing that has to be done. And then this comes to the executive committee, which then looks at all of the potential cost benefits of whatever particular geographic site we choose. But at this time, I want to say for 2023, we do not have a definitive location. We do hope it will be hybrid, and we do hope it will be outside of North America. The executive committee welcomes any other institutions which might be interested in hosting in 2023 or beyond. And you can contact me directly with the email that's provided, and I will give you more information and also help support you through the process of decisions and report back to the board. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you so much, Janice, and thank you for your work, for working with all those potential sites. It's so exciting to be thinking about 2023 and beyond, and it's also a sign that RECE is continuing and thinking about the future. I would just also like to say at this moment that at the RECE conference in Vancouver, we'll be also talking about the future of conferencing and so on. So that's going to be also a topic that we'll be discussing there. And but for now, there is an email address on the top of this slide for Janice. And please do contact her if you are thinking that you would like to organize the conference or get some kind of idea further, or be in a conversation what it may mean and what it actually takes. RECE steering committee at the moment is set up of a past conference host chair, so we all know what it means to organize a conference. So we are really thankful for everybody who is thinking of that. And with this, we are moving to a very exciting part of our RECE business meeting. And this is basically our time for all of us. And this is a RECE Town Hall listening session. And I would like to invite Mimi and Thomas.
I'm here. Can you see me? Let's see. I think I unmuted myself. Thomas, are you here?
Yes, I'm here from Copenhagen, late night.
Okay. I want to start by saying thank you to all the presenters who have done a marvelous job and given a ton of information. I started taking notes, as I'm often trying to do, and I I gave up, but I have it all recorded sort of in my head, especially about the upcoming conference. It was so exciting to hear that we will be able to be online as well as in place in Vancouver, and having if I understood that correctly, the sessions can be simultaneously sort of organized or accessed. I want to thank the current steering committee members, but also the conference planners for the great amount of work that they've done in a very short amount of time. We were very lucky that they were able to do an unpredictable conference at a good time in Vancouver, and with the hybrid option that we felt was absolutely necessary if we were going to go ahead and plan the conference. And thank you to everybody. So with that in mind, Thomas and I want to just open the floor to anybody who has a question or a discussion point, something that you have heard that you need to ask more about. Are there questions either in the chat or from the people who are here?
I just encourage people to raise their hand, or maybe just at the moment nobody is grabbing the word.
Maybe we
Mara
can
has-
stop sharing
Mara.
the screen.
Yeah,
Maybe,
Mara.
Mark, if we stop sharing the screen, it's easier to see everybody. Thanks.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
And you can all talk too, by the way,
Hi,
at this point,
it's-
I think if you allow yourself to. Yeah.
Hi, it's Mara in Syracuse. I can't wait to see you all in the flesh, or most of you. Two things. The quilt is finished. It is Where the Wild Things Are, and it is quite beautiful, but we are having some challenges. And Lori has worked so hard to try to make this work, but it turned out that it's considered gambling to have a raffle, and RECE didn't want us to gamble because we all know that RECE is really a dangerous organization that's running money laundering and things like that. So we have a couple of solutions that we're trying to do, because also, and I don't know if Lori wants to speak to it, but she's worked so hard and through banging her head against the wall, because we didn't want to have just an on-site raffle, because A, it doesn't raise as much money, and B, we're hybrid. And so the whole point of being hybrid is that if you were in some other place or some other country or time zone, that you could still buy raffle tickets. So we're trying to maybe have it go through the RECE website with Stripe or something, as I understand it. There is a site in the US that allows us to have a raffle, but I don't know if anyone has any brilliant experience with this, because it's been a good fundraiser for RECE. It's been, like $800,000 for the organization that goes to supporting, students and people who might otherwise not be able to attend. So just wanted to put that out there. And Matthias, of course, is the winner of the very first quilt, in a very funny story in which nobody could read the handwriting on the ticket. And Lacey figured it out that it was Matthias when all of us said we can't read this. Anyway, so we're still working on that. And I also want to put out to the host committee that I would love to lead, as I have at RECE every year, on a morning dance kind of, oh, there's Matthias is holding up Where the Wild Things Are. So I would love to figure out if who I need to talk to on the program committee to set us a morning time when we can do some dance and movement as a community.
Mara, I think you need to discuss it with Mark, because he wants the quilt, and maybe you could negotiate.
Let me jump in just to say
I'm kidding, everybody. It's a real raffle.
The quilt is stunning. We had a website set up, advertising, all the rest of it. And then we learned that we needed to apply for a license from the government of British Columbia to hold such an event. I cannot tell you what we went through to get it, the paperwork, the proof of identity, the years of financial accounts, the whole bit, just for a bloody raffle. Anyway, the other complication is that you must be physically present in British Columbia according to our gambling laws in order to purchase a ticket. So we're going to get a little bit creative, and there may be a way for you to make a donation, and in appreciation of your donation, we might give you a raffle ticket or something, but stay tuned.
Got it. Okay then.
I kept thinking it was one of those situations where it would be better to ask for forgiveness than permission, but it was way complicated, and Lori worked so hard, and anyway, I'm so sorry that it turned out to be so difficult to do a good deed.
I just think we need to raise triple as much this year for all the work that went into it.
Can I change the subject for a minute?
We have 2 minutes to go. Are there any other questions, Thomas?
Yeah, I have a question for the host committee, coming from my technological ignorance. I noticed that there is Zoom, and then there's this other platform which you've investigated. So when we're in the room in a meeting, will we be looking at Zoom, or will we be looking at this alternative platform? In other words, does the alternative platform replace Zoom?
Yeah. So it was recommended that we will use an event platform where we could put the entire program, and then when you go into this particular site, and only people who registered will be able to go into it, you will have the entire program with all the various links embedded in it, but we will still be using Zoom. So the Hop-in event platform allows you to embed a Zoom link. So we will still be using Zoom. It's just a better way of organizing, if you like, the conference.
Got it. So it's just it's an organizing tool, but okay. I got
Yes,
it. I think I got
it, depending on what levels you purchase, it could become an app so that everybody can download the app, but it's just a way of, there's a way to move all the registrants to allow them access to this platform. And then you will have the entire program. It also allows you to save all the recorded session, etc.
Right.
So it just seemed like a good option to go with.
Sounds great.
And
Thank
one more
you.
thing
Thank you
that I
so
was
much.
thinking, if I may add, it's Mari for Jonathan. So when you do your presentation, you just do your presentation in person. So you don't need to be worried where to look, like you're, yeah. So
Right.
that, because I know that sometimes you get worried about that. And if you're online presenting, then you do like we're doing right now. And then the people in the room will be seeing you. I think.
I wanted to hop off because I think we're almost at the end, and thank again the program committee, but also make a plug again for steering committee nominations, because Mark, when are they due? It's a very, very important job.
15th of
May.
The 15th of May, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so anybody considering thinking that they'd like a leadership role in RECE, please remember that we have some open slots, and consider self-nomination or being nominated, whichever you prefer.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mimi, and thank you so much, Thomas, for leading our RECE Town Hall listening session. And it's 1 hour has passed so quickly, and obviously we all miss each other so much, but we're really excited. We will see each other in Vancouver in, I think it's 7 or 8 weeks, and which is so exciting. And I know many people cannot travel, and they will be joining us online, and it's also exciting, a new chapter in RECE history. And I would like to thank again everybody who contributed and led sessions in this RECE business meeting, the RECE steering committee, and particularly the RECE host and program committee, who's been working so hard in such a short amount of time to make this conference possible. Thank you so much, and Namahe Nui, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you in Vancouver. and watch out for those emails from MailChimp, what a horrific name, and you will get all the updated information and follow-ups from this business meeting. See you
If
soon.
you let
and
me
thank you.
share the screen, I'll show the quilt quickly.
Right, I'm not quite sure how to do that.
Go in participants.
If you send me a message, I will include it in the next email update.
Okay.
Okay.
If
See you
anybody
soon.
has a chance to stay in Vancouver area for a little longer than the conference, I would highly recommend it.
I'm staying 2 weeks afterwards.
Nice.
So yeah.
We just came back from Vancouver Island. We had this beautiful, beautiful weekend. Just incredible, incredible views and nature.
I will
Iris,
contact you.
Thank you.
Iris.
We'll talk.
I'm
About
teaching this
business.
summer, but I might want to do that as well. Thank you, Iris. Thank you, everyone. Bye, Mark.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye for
everyone.
now.
Take
Thanks,
care.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks
See
for
you all.
organizing.
Thank you.
Thank you.